bit longer to charge. It said 30 minutes, but it's been almost an hour or so. Um, we had some issues here with gluing the circles together, the little half circles, to make the party ball. And so I wanted you guys to take a look at this and see the types of glues that I was working with. So both should actually work. This Elmer glue actually is hard to work with this type of paper for some reason. It just takes longer to dry. This one works, but you have to use a lot more of it to get it to stick. And then the third thing on this is when I measured this out, made it a little bit further opening up here to give it a little bit more wider gap. And so this is almost like an epic failure, but let's just go ahead and take a look at what went wrong, because the only way you can learn from your mistakes is kind of examining and then redoing it again. So let's start with this piece right here. So this was those green ones that were sitting over here, and I wasn't going to really use them, but I thought, well, since I've made a few little mistakes, I got my little chopsticks. So I've got a lot of chopsticks because I love eating with them and making Asian dishes when I have time to go to the Asian grocery store here. But since my car been in the shop and um, I've got to pay them the $1,100 back, I'm a little broke, so I can't really go out and indulge on shopping at the grocery store at the moment like that. So what I'm trying to do is open this up. I use this E3000 glue on this one just to see if it would hold tighter. And as you can see, I'm having a hard time getting the chopstick in there, which means I didn't do the spacing right on this. I think, because it's been a while since I've done these, I've done several. I can't remember the kind of glue I use. Work, this takes longer to dry. So the next time I'm going to use the E3000 glue, I believe. I'm sure there's other fast drying glues out there that you could try. As you see, as I'm pulling it, it's starting to open up. I think this one right here, let's see if I got it. Yeah, it opened up. It's almost giving like a honeycomb design. Let's see, try it again. It's really tight. See, it's a little bit too tight. I think it should have made the points a little bit wider. I didn't want to go with a great big circle, so I just and as you can see, it's kind of giving the honeycomb design, but it's a lot of glue. Oops, I just tore it. Let's see, it has to be, the points have to be just right, and these are just slightly off. So what I think is that I should have gone a little bit higher here and a little bit lower here to make it a little bit wider, so when it opens up, it has a little bit more give. It's starting to give a little bit now, but I'm really having to work at it. I've already torn it at the top here, but the glue must have spread, and so there it tore. See? So it would need to be re-glued right there and re-put together, and the points weren't wide enough. So we've kind of come to the conclusion here that the points should have been higher and lower in order for the design to come through. But you get an idea of what the design should look like. Let's go on over here and I'll show this one and what it looks like. The points just aren't sticking where we glued. So it literally needs a thicker glue to stick, and it needs to be further down. So it's kind of an epic failure with this, and I just want to show you like what happened. You can see it's still very loose and tacky in spots. It's not very dry. That you can see where this is all the Elmer's glue. This is the E3000 glue. It's a little bit more tackier and stronger, and if you put too much, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So you just need a little bit. that when you pull this open, don't yank it because then you'll yank the project apart. It should be firm and tight and dry. You have to let it dry in order for it to work. If not, then you're gonna come out with something like this. Wah wah. So let's just chalk this up to like an epic failure, but also let's use this as a learning tool to try and redo this and think about what you're doing when you're doing it. I've done many of these before, and in some of my older videos, you'll see it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm coming back to something I haven't done in a long time. But yeah, I've messed up a bunch of these, but I have some that came out perfect. And I'll just go ahead and show you how it would have worked. It would go around like that. And so just imagine a little ball, and then that way I could stick it into the vase, and you'd have the perfect little round party ball on here. Then you could probably add umbrellas and flowers and different things to the other stems, and kind of like a pish posh. That's what I was going for. I don't think I'm very happy with this paper either. So I'm thinking that I need to maybe switch up the paper as well. This paper works very well for flowers and stuff like that. But as far as this ball, I'm not really happy with the way it turned out. Now, on a good day, and if everything came out right, I would pull out my glitter, and then I would just go over the edges real good and just roll this ball in glitter, and let it dry and give it a very glittery, glitzy, disco ball effect. Since this is not gonna work, so I'm just gonna not fool with this anymore. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. We'll have to come back to that another video at another time. But I want you to keep in mind of the tools that you need to do these projects. You're trying to declutter and not put paper back into the environment. So just keep that in mind. Your goal is reducing waste, reducing paper in a very fun way. Yeah, you make some, flub flubs, but that's okay. You're mentally doing something for the environment. You're mentally trying to declutter because every day that mailman is going to bring more bills. The bills aren't going to stop, honey. They're going to keep coming. And so your house is going to be full of magazines. It's going to be full of paper and loose leaf things that you're going to look at one time and chunk it over to the side. And the next day a piece of mail will come and you'll chunk it and chunk it and chunk it until you end up with a pile this high. And then instead of throwing it into the waste basket or shredding it up, my idea is do something fun and creative with it. You know, make it work the best way you know how. Cut it up into little strips or something like that. Add it to your, pile. Ooh, I just wasted that. But, just keep going. Don't give up. Like, you didn't work out, keep on with this and use this for